everybody, it's Charles Harper, and it's Friday, and I want to welcome you. And this is a really special broadcast that I'm doing for you. And I've got Mike Thomas, and Mike is Mike from Maine, and you probably know him as that. And man, I really want to kind of get into some really, what I think is some really vital information. If you have a webinar platform or a teleseminar platform, or even if you're just into doing hangouts, whatever your niche is, I honestly think this is something that you have to be doing today. And Mike has really done it. I've been kind of following him from afar, and I think he just kind of got in and really got into doing his show. But, you know, without trying to take Mike's thunder, let's kind of get into it. Mike, everybody probably knows you to some degree, but let's kind of talk about kind of how you got into internet marketing, and then let's just dive into then from there how you started doing the Mike from Maine show.
Yeah, well, first off, thanks for having me on your show. I appreciate that. What I want to start off with first is I wasn't always like a guy that was doing a show. I'm actually not a really outroverted person. I'm more of an introvert. So for me to get on camera and to really get out there and to speak to all these people that were a lot of them, especially in the beginning, were above me, that was intimidating. But I was able to go out there and do it. But anyways, I just wanted to kind of bring us back. I started doing my show in September of 2012. And the reason why I started doing it, I was doing some other things online. I was building some AdSense niche sites. I was having some success there. But I also knew that things change online. You never know when Google is going to make an update or like whatever. Like you never know when your income's going to go away.
Right.
So I thought, okay, I need to diversify a little bit. I started my show in September of 2012. At the same time, 750 AdSense niche sites that I'd created that were making me anywhere from $3,000 to $15,000 a month got slapped and taken away. So I went from like, oh, I'll kind of do a little show here and for fun to like, oh crap, I'm doing this and this better work out. Like it's either this works out and I'm able to keep staying at home and working, or I'm out and I've got to go back to the 9-to-5 job that I don't want to do. So I dove in. I started doing interviews with people. The way that I do it and my model is, and it wasn't like I kind of found this by doing it, is I interview people that are creating products, and I interview them about the product, and I try to figure out, I'm like, okay, like if they make claims that they're making X amount of money, I try to dig down in and make sure that they're really doing what they're doing, because there's a lot of stuff online, people making these crazy claims that they're making all this money, and you don't know who to believe and what to believe. So that's kind of me, and feel free to dig in more. I'm not sure quite where you want me to go with it, but that's kind of what I do.
Yeah, I mean, which is again really simple. So when you were doing this, how did you build the credibility with the people who are watching, right? Because I think, you know, it's certainly something that something that I think as you said, when you're introverted, or even when you first come in at marketing, you think, man, I don't even know if I can do this. You kind of really took a really simple approach, but when you did it, people were obviously watching and you built credibility with them. So how did you reach into that camera and build that credibility with the people?
It's interesting when you interview someone else and you're speaking with them, and it's not even not just about interviews. When you see pictures of someone and you have one person beside another person with them, communicating with them, it's kind of assumed that there's a relationship there, and that person is kind of vouching for that other person. So when you have people on your show and when you're interviewing people, even if maybe you don't even know who the heck they are, and that person doesn't know who the heck you are, maybe you know who they are, you're like, yeah, but they don't know who you are. It doesn't matter, because your audience, they don't see that. They say, oh, you know, these guys are buddies. They've known each other for so long, and that means that if this guy's at this level, then this guy can maybe doesn't go up to that level, but you take a little bit of that credibility and that authority, and you're able to build that relationship there. And by building that relationship and having that rapport with that person, your audience is going to see you in another light as well. This can also be a negative. If you bring bad people onto your webinars and interview bad people, that's going to look bad for you as well. So there's a lesson there to be learned, that be careful who you surround yourself with, as your audience is going to perceive that if you're hanging out with someone shady, then you're shady as well. So in either way.
Now you hit this, right? Kind of when the whole podcasting and the whole, show sort of hangout boom was kind of coming into fruition. But that wasn't the reason you did it. You kind of had this vision to do this show even before, it was popular, before podcasting became a thing, right? So what was your vision when you got started?
When I got started, there's some other people out there that your audience might be familiar with. People like Pat Flynn from Smart Passive Income. He has a very popular podcast. John Lee Dumas from Entrepreneur on Fire. He's a friend of mine from Maine. I knew him way back then. Actually, John was one of my first interviews. I've been on his show. He's been on my show. Pat Flynn, he was one of the first people that I interviewed on my show. At that time, in late 2012, there was a time where I was thinking to myself, do I want to do audio or do I want to do video? And I was thinking, well, and my brother, who's 4 years older than me, he was saying, Mike, you need to do an audio podcast. Everyone's doing audio, do audio, do audio. And I was thinking, well, I was like, okay, audio is good, but maybe video is better. And to be honest with you, I can't say that one is better than the other one. I think there are advantages and disadvantages with both. With the iTunes platform, there's a lot of reach that you can get by being a podcast and by promoting your podcast and by getting reviews and getting spread out to that huge audience. At the same time, using video, I was influenced by someone named David Siteman Garland, who had a show called The Rise to the Top. He no longer does it now, but he was able to really build his credibility by doing his show. And so he did that. He put out a course called Create Awesome Interviews. I went through that course. It was a $500 course, which is, for me, was a pretty, not a cheap course. I don't think for anyone. Putting out $500 for a course, depending, I don't care if you're making $1,000 a month or $10,000, it's still $500.
It is.
I bought that course. I went through it. I decided to do video just because I felt like there's something different that comes through when you're on video. You can see the person's facial reactions. When I do interviews that are audio, and when people interview me, I'm not able to see when they're bored or when they give me a face. I ask them something and they're like, you can understand if someone's interested or not. And there's nonverbal cues. I don't have to say yes to everything. I can just do a head nod like that, or I can. I don't know. There's other things that come through. Plus, as a way of branding myself, people are able to really. I think that rapport that you build with your audience is stronger over video because they see you. You can see my apartment that I'm in here. You can kind of see hand gestures, facial gestures, my expressive eyebrows, everything you can see here. I haven't shaved. I always have my beard here. That's my thing. I'm not. That's just what I do here. There's all kinds of nonverbal cues that go over there. So I'm not sure if I completely answered your question or not, but in a roundabout way.
I feel you. So now some of the people who listen to me, right, even outside of the folks who have done the webinar platform, some of the guys are offline marketers. And so I've been kind of preaching this, but I want you to talk about it from your perspective. Let's say that you're in Tuscaloosa, right? Can you take this very same thing into your local market in Tuscaloosa and do this kind of thing with either business owners or people who are there, and then really do it so that you can not only just build your authority but also create some income opportunities? If
you're an offline marketer, if you're selling SEO services or websites and stuff, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that kind of stuff, right? Yeah.
Okay. I think that if you are whatever you're doing, and it doesn't even have to be like selling websites and selling SEO. Whatever you're doing in your community, and it can be your city or your county or whatever. What you can do if you want to be the man that knows every single person, create a very basic website. It could be I'm going to give an example. I'm originally from Bangor, Maine. So what I could do is I could make a website, Bangor business interviews and or webinars or whatever you want to call it. You call it webinars, teleseminars, podcasts. It's all the same thing. It's all about interacting with people, creating valuable content, and distributing it. So what you would do is you would create that show, and by creating a show and adding the name show to it, I'll say show 1,000 times. By putting the name show to it, you're able to make it so that you're going from just going around to people and saying, hey, I want to pick your brain for an hour and talk to you and tell me all your stuff. To, I have a show. I want to bring you on. I want to have a discussion about something, and then it's not just going to be you and me. We're going to put that out to the world, and this is going to be exposure for you, and this is going to be valuable for you. I've got an email list of X amount of people. I've got a probably X amount of people are going to watch this, and you're able to say that after a while. Of course, in the beginning, you don't want to lie to them. You just want to. People are fine if you're just starting out. They actually like helping you. But anyways, if you're in that local community, back to Bangor, Maine, you could go and you could start interviewing people that could be potential customers. So if you're doing websites for people and you want to be doing people's websites in your local area, just go around, go through your yellow pages. I don't even know if people use that anymore. Go on your search engine, search for people that you'd be interested in working with. And if I was doing websites, I would target people like dentists, lawyers, people that have money to spend. Ask them if they'd be willing to do a 20 to 30 minute interview about their business and how they got started, and if they'd be willing to do that interview over Skype when they're available, and you're going to publish that. You're going to put a link to their website, yada, yada, yada. And at first, when you get started, it might be a little slow. When you're first reaching out and you have no interviews on your site at all, you can't show people that. You get 3 interviews on there. And you can start sending links like, hey, I'd love for you to be on my show. Put a link in that email. I've interviewed this guy, and this guy. They're going to start seeing that their friends are being interviewed and they're not. They're going to be like, oh, crap. Why is he being interviewed and I'm not? And what happens here is you need to do this in an upfront way. You don't want to be sleazy about this. But what happens here is if you're doing a website and it's about business in your local area, and you're doing these interviews, have something on your website, have an email capture form looking for SEO are you looking for to get your website created? Go ahead and opt in and I'll show you how to do it for free or whatever, and anything like a lead magnet there. You want to get their email address. And people will start opting in, people will start sharing it. If you interview people, just ask them, say, hey, especially if it's a content interview, people are very much more likely to share it with their friends. They'll put a link on their website. If they've got their website, they want to show that they've been interviewed here. And it's one of those things that if you do like 1 or 2 of them, nothing's going to happen. That's the first thing here. If you do 1 or 2 of them, you're gonna and you're like, oh, Mike and Charles are full of crap. These guys, they said that interviews were a great way of doing stuff, but I did it and it doesn't work. Well, you need to do them consistently. You need to be serious about it. You need to create a website that looks nice. Okay, in the beginning, it might not be the most beautiful website in the world, but at least be organized. Once you start making a little money, maybe get a logo made for it. Maybe take a little time with it. But I'm passionate about this because I think that this model of interviewing is phenomenally the best way that someone who is not having any success can go from being a no one to being a someone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you said so right. And just like with everything that you've probably seen in internet marketing, in information marketing, is we sort of come into something, and sometimes what happens is you do it 1 or 2 times, nothing happens. You say this sucks, and I'm going to stop. But it really does take kind of committing to something and sticking to something. And I think, as you said, this doesn't work on autopilot by doing it 2 or 3 times. You really do have to commit to this model. So I want you to talk to me a little bit about, okay, you sort of had some incentive, obviously, to commit to this. But when you said, okay, this is what I'm going to do, I am going to do this show, it also meant you probably had to say no to some other stuff. So how did you work through that process of saying yes to this and no to the other stuff?
When I started doing it, I think with my first interview that I did, it was horrible, by the way. Like I was like, hey there, everyone, welcome to the Mike from Maine show. Like, it was awful. It was awful. But I'm actually, it was awful, but I'm really proud of it as well. Like I'm proud of the fact that I have that awful episode, because if I didn't have that, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I am proud of my, I wouldn't call it a mistake, but I'm proud of my lower caliber work, because it got me to where I am today. And I'm sure if you talk to me 500 episodes later, I'm up to 600 episodes now. Talk to me 600 episodes later, I'll be making fun of my episodes from now. Right. So as far as like, why did I do this and like not do other things? My first episode, that crappy episode that I did, I think I made $8 in affiliate commissions from it. And that might not sound like a lot, but when I saw money coming in, I was like, okay, like I've got X amount of subscribers, and I've got an interview here that I did, and I enjoyed it, and I was able to go through an interesting product, and then talk about that product and meet this person. And now I know someone now in this niche who, his name was Fergal Downs. Maybe you might have come across him. He's a really nice guy from Ireland, and he's a friend of mine now. And I saw, okay, there's money, like $8 now, and then maybe if I keep doing this, that number will go to $80, and then $800, and then $8,000. Like I could see that the scaling factors. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is they'll do something and they'll make a small amount of money from it, but they don't realize the scaling factor in what they're doing. So I think that made it work for me. I did that. Then I did another interview. I don't make any money from that next interview, but then I did another one and I made like $40 from it. I was like, oh, cool. Okay. Like this is working. And come to 2015 now, it's April of 2015. In January, I made $30,000 in profit from doing this. And then I made $30,000 in profit in February. I haven't put out my income report yet for March, but I'll give you a sneak preview. I made $26,000. So I'm making between $20,000 to $30,000 consistently over the last 3 months of 2015, doing something that I love. And it's really like, for me, it's amazing. Work. It's not work. Like tonight, for me, I'm actually in Istanbul, Turkey. From Maine originally. I live overseas. I live the life that I want to live. My wife is Turkish. I was a backpacker. Long story short, I was a backpacker, ended up here, been here for the last 7 years now. I live where I want to live. I want to be here. I go home to the States for Christmas and New Year's. I was in for Christmas. I was in Maine. I was in New York before Christmas. I was in San Francisco we flew over to San Francisco for New Year's. Things that in a normal life, like it is not possible. But because of this and because of what I do, and because I put in the work, which you need to put in the work if you want this to happen. This isn't some, you're not going to find pictures of me lounging next to a Ferrari or in my big mansion. But I just bought my first apartment. It was $177,000 for my first apartment, and I paid $150,000 for it. For me, that's how much money I paid for it. I bet like a $20,000 mortgage. This is stuff that is achievable. Realistic things are achievable, but not the whole internet marketing crazy lifestyle that some people talk about. But interviews have made this possible.
Yeah, and so what's really powerful about what you're saying is the power of focus, right? You sort of focused on this. You put in the work, and then I mean, you developed a passion for this. And I know that we gotta let you go to your appointment pretty soon. Would you say that this was something that you were obviously not necessarily, you didn't know you were passionate about it when you got started, but how do you develop that passion for it before it actually starts to become the thing that's making? Because you probably had to be passionate about that before you got to this income level. And that's really what kind of drives people and draws people to your show. So how do you develop that passion? Because I know people are kind of in some of this stuff. They're kind of working through it, but the passion hasn't quite come there yet.
I'm passionate about the internet marketing niche. I love the make money online niche in its purity. I don't like the hypey like launches that we've seen in the past with like huge income claims. I like looking down, finding a method, kind of like what I did with the whole $8 thing and scaling it up. I'm passionate about finding little things that work and then digging into them and making my own kind of spin on them and trying them out. I think for me, that was a passion. So I want to, every time there's a new product that comes out, I have the shiny object syndrome that everyone always talks about. I have that. So I want to see it. Like, give it to me. Let me look inside and see if this is, see if this is legit. And I'll get it. I'll look inside. I'm passionate. So the niche. This is my niche. So I love this niche. Now, if you're in another niche, maybe you're really passionate about something that's like, I don't know, knitting or something. It's going to be harder. Let's face it. Like it's not going to be the same type of people that are crazy to buy things like in the internet marketing niche. So when people tell you do what you love, go out there and create something about what you love, sure, it can happen, but you better be sure that there's some money in there as well. The big niches that people always talk about are health, wealth, and relationships. And if you can find something where let's say you're really interested in like there's usually in those things there's got to be something that you've got an interest in. In wealth, maybe it's make money online, or maybe it's investing, or maybe you go around and you want to do I don't know, help investors in your neighborhood, in your area with some certain task that they're doing. I don't know. There's so many different things that you can do online, and the way that interviews can help you with them is getting your foot in the door and getting you connected so that you can actually have that conversation with someone and have them listen to you. If you approach someone and you don't even know them and you try to pitch something to them, let's say you're a Facebook ads expert and you try to approach a contractor and you are amazing at getting leads for contractors. Like, you know how to do it. You can do it. You can make them so much money, but that doesn't matter if they won't listen to you. It doesn't matter. You need to make it so that you can have that conversation. It goes from being a cold prospect to a warm prospect that will believe you. If they don't believe you, then you can't sell them anything.
Right. That's so right.
I'm not sure if I answered your question there either, but
you did. One of the things, I mean, I know people, and again, I'm gonna kind of let you go here, because I do want you to tell. Yeah. You know, when you get into something, what I'm finding and what I hear is that someone will say, "Man, I can't do that." Dumas is already doing a podcast, or so you talked about David Siteman Garland. He already did Rise to the Top. There's no room. Mike from Maine, he's doing that. There's no more room for anybody else. And really, it's as you said, there's room for. It's not just that there's a little room. There's room for everybody.
Yeah, there's room for everyone. If someone is doing it and they're doing it for a long time, look at what they're doing, because it means they're making money from it. It means that it works. So when I see competition, I don't see competition. I see, okay, this obviously works. Like, there's other guys doing the same thing as me. Han Fan does interviews just like I do. And he's someone that I looked at when I first got started. I was like, okay, what's this guy doing? Like, I was like, he's doing really well. He's also doing interviews. And I started mimicking stuff that he was doing, not doing everything the same, but mimicking what he was doing. And if you're going to do interviews for product promotions, one thing that I tell people is it's the interview part of it is a way of pre-selling an offer. So when I do an interview with someone, it's I interview them. We talk about their who they are and their product, and then I use that interview as a way of saying, "Hey guys, this product's coming out tomorrow. Check it out. Here's the guy that's created it," and then I'll send out a review video. So for some people out there, they're afraid of doing interviews, and there's other ways of using video and doing just review videos that works as well. If you're super camera shy and you don't want to do interviews, I just wanted to make that point as well.
Yeah, and well, that's really kind of what I think is again, it's kind of the art form. It's kind of like, when you get into it, you start doing it. I know I did Blog Talk Radio for a little while, did some shows, and really, you sort of develop your own style. You develop your own rapport, with the audience. And then it's, as you said, though, at the end of the day, it does really need to, if you're going to do it and you're going to be passionate about it, it does need to make some money. And one of the things I really appreciate about what you've been talking about is you've been able to make money as an affiliate. I know a lot of people, they're really looking to launch their affiliate marketing business. You've got some really cool stuff that you're making available this weekend just to the people who are listening to this. Can you tell us a little bit about what they're going to see, Mike?
Sure. I hate product creation. Product creation, like I like it when I make money from it. Like that's fine. Like I love the money. I did a product launch back in November, and I made $50,000 in 1 month from launching a product. Like that was great. I love the money. I think I lost like 5 pounds doing it. I forgot to eat. Like I love to eat, man. That's one thing I don't forget. And it was stressful, but I prefer being an affiliate because it's easier, and you're able to go out. You're able to go out there and just like promote someone else's product. You don't have to worry about putting a sales page together. You don't have to worry about getting affiliates to promote for you. It's amazing. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting beeps from my iPad here. But the product that I put out is a product called Affiliate Income Secrets, where it's a low price product, and it's a way where I teach people exactly what I've done to build up my business from $0 to $30,000. Actually, when I put out this product, originally I was making around $10,000 to $15,000. Now it's a few months later, and I'm making $30,000. So the model keeps on working and working and working. And as I keep on doing it, it's funny. Like I wonder in a year from now, like if you look at I put out monthly income reports. If anyone goes to MikeFromMaine.com and they look at my income reports, they're going to see that I've documented that from the beginning, and I've gone literally from zero, sometimes negative, to $30,000. So in a month. So if anyone wants to pick it up, I think it's a good course. It's a video course where I teach exactly what I've done. I show some methods of doing review videos. There are some one-time offers inside, so be prepared for that. There's one-time offer where I teach more in depth how to create review videos. There's another one-time offer where I teach how to build a list and make money at the same time, because list building is very important. And then my last one-time offer is about how I do interviews. And the reason why those are one-time offers is because I know not everyone wants to learn how to do interviews. I know not everyone wants to learn how to build a list. Some people, and not everyone wants to learn how to do those review videos in the first one-time offer. Some people just want to learn the basic business strategies that I use. So it's up to you. You don't need to buy the other stuff to learn my secrets, but they're there as an option for people that want to take it to the next level.
Guys, if you're watching in Webinar Fusion Pro, the offer is right down to the side. If you're watching on YouTube, it's right down below. But really, I'm going to say you want to go ahead and get this, especially even if you've had success in affiliate marketing, or if you haven't really broken through. Man, here's a great way that you can break through. And like I think Mike is saying, what's really powerful is that he's not talking about solo ads. He's not talking about all this stuff. He's talking about being a big guru. Just talking about just some really basic stuff that I'm not going to say anybody can do because I don't want to try to hype it up, but I'm just saying.
I think anyone can do it. Charles, I think anyone can do it. I think as long as you know how to use your computer, you might not let's. I don't tell people they're going to make $30,000 overnight because that's not going to happen.
Right.
But if you put in the work and you do it consistently and you go all in, you can do this. I was an English literature and Spanish language major in college. I'm not some marketing guy.
You were not. So you were no. You're not you're not marketing or management or any of that.
None. I hated business when I was in college. I hated it. I saw the people going to the business school and they were wearing their like suits and all preppy people going in there. I was like, I do not want to be that. That's like, for me, business was corporate America. That's not what I wanted. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm on my own. But anyone can do this. It does take a little bit of work. This isn't some push button crappy thing that people tout all over the internet. This is something that you're gonna have to, maybe spend some time learning how to do it and spend some effort in it. But if you do it, the rewards are amazing. It can change your life.
Guys, go ahead and get this weekend. He's making this. He's putting this at a special price just for us. You're watching this. I think you've got until Monday to go ahead and pick this up at this special price. So after Monday, it's probably not going to be priced where it is. So, man, get this. Even if you got a business model, get this thing, man, and just really get started. As he said, go all in. Put some effort into this and just see where it takes you. Mike, man, this has really been just really awesome because you've been candid, you've been real, and you just really just kind of brought it to us the way you did. It's not anything. It's just the way it is. I dig that about you, man.
Yep. Go ahead. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll leave that pricing there for everyone until midnight Eastern on Sunday. Then I got to raise it back up again. So it's normally higher. I'll keep it at that lower price until then. But if people come to me like, "Hey, Mike, I missed it. Can we get it there?" I'm gonna say no. Like I really it sounds like internet marketing talk where like the price is going to go up and it's like never going to go down again. I don't lower the price. This is a special thing that I'm doing for Charles, and so just. If you come to me after, I'm going to say, sorry, like this is the price you're going to get it for.
Yeah, man. And I appreciate you doing this. Everybody, this is Mike from Maine. And how can we check out your show, man?
Well, first click on Charles' link. Like if you're going to buy it, make sure you buy it through Charles' link. And if you're going to check out my show, go to MikeFromMaine.com. MikeFromMaine.com.
All right, Mike, thank you again. And everybody, jump in. Happy Friday, and we'll talk to you soon.